Welcome to the Allured Life podcast. My name is Katie Christ, and in 2016, I wrote down in a journal that I was going to become unapologetically my best self. And my purpose is to help women do the same, whether that's overcoming body image issues, creating next level inner confidence, or up-leveling our emotional intelligence and sense of worth. I believe that by investing in and developing who we are, we can exponentially transform the world we live in. My mission is to create power and influence in the hands of women. These are conversations for those ready to rise. This is the Allured Life podcast. Let's go all in. Hello, hello, hello. It is Katie Christ Youngdahl. Today I want to talk a little bit about confidence, true confidence, true, unwavering, unapologetic, empowered self-knowing. So if you, and I'm sure most of you guys skip over because that's exactly what I do. But if you've ever listened to the beginning of this podcast, the intro, I talk about how in 2016, I wrote down in a journal that I wanted to become the most unapologetic version of myself. That was the word I used, unapologetic. It was a time in my life where I just graduated from undergraduate school. I'm at the University of Pittsburgh and was in a relationship that just, yeah, I lost myself quite a bit. I lost myself in that specific partner relationship. I lost myself with some of the friends that I developed down there and just, and not that any of them did anything wrong to me. This is all about my own kind of, I'm taking radical responsibility that the things that happened to me, I allowed to happen. I allowed myself to lose myself a little bit. And I knew this and I had this sense and this feeling. And it honestly wasn't until I came back home. I moved home after college and I was living with my parents. Um, woo, just graduated living with your parents. But it was the best thing ever because it was almost like a remembrance. Because there was a disconnect of just this feeling in my body of sensing, okay, this is who I've been the past 4 or so years as I was by myself in college, and then coming back and just remembering kind of our standards of who we are, of how I was raised, this remembrance, this confidence of myself as a little girl that it was just, and I don't know how I can explain it the best. I just felt a sense of remembering, a sense of just like, okay, Katie, there's something in you right here that's been kind of tapped off, locked up. And so it was, I'm going to figure out who I am and not apologize for it anymore. Not feel like I have to fit into a specific box or please people, because that's what I felt like I was doing. I felt like I was trying to be a certain way. I was trying to become this version of the grown-up Katie that I wanted to be and be in a relationship and be with these friends and just it was a little bit of an identity, just not crisis, that's a little bit too much too big of words, but it was a figuring it out. And I know that this is adulthood, right? Somebody might be listening to this and be like, that's just growing up, Katie. But there is, the more that I've kind of developed this, and the more that I've been in personal development, the more that I'm working specifically on more of feminine energetics and kind of this transition from where we are kids, where we are teenagers, and the transition into being a woman. When do we shift? How are we just told, like, you are it, you are a woman now, go and figure it all out? I think it's like, okay, you're in college, you're an adult now. We're told you're an adult, Katie. You can figure this out. You can do this. But there's certain conversations that I'm realizing we didn't have of the transition of becoming kind of as we're being raised to be good girls. But there's a true and pivotal and a conversation that's not being had of what it looks like to be a great woman, what it looks like to lead from a place of forgiveness, what it looks like to like respond to things that might trigger you or things that might kind of bring up where you are actually acting from this child version of yourself, this and my mentor talks about it as baby goddess version, and that's, I love the term baby goddess. It's this version of you being, that's not fair. That's not fair that she gets like that. Why is she not being punished? She treated me like this and it's really, really bad, and like, no, no, no. We're not being taught this. We're not being told, hey, this is, you actually can be super powerful, super magnetic, super just in control of who you are, and having these unapologetic, empowered versions of yourself and standing in that without being apologetic, without being triggered, without being a raging biatch, without sitting there being like, I'm complaining, or like, people don't do this, people don't do that, he treats me like this, my partner never does that, he's always doing this. We can be like that, but we're not having the conversation of how to do that. There is no this kind of we were just watching, Ryan and I watched Avatar 2 on, I think it was on HBO or Amazon, one of those. Hulu, HBO Prime, Disney Plus, that's what it was. And I remember they were going through, and it reminded me, the first movie is like one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies of all time. I love the soundtrack. I just love everything about it. And it brought up a remembrance of, so there's this kind of, not, I wouldn't say a trial, but there's this point where Jake Sully, one of the main characters, every person, oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher this. Basically, every person in this tribe kind of goes through this one scenario of getting, what is it? I'm butchering this. Uh, it's getting like it's not a dragon thing. It's this thing that's flying in the air. It's this thing that's flying in the air, and you basically have like a trial of them picking you, and you have to kind of like fight this thing and then make a bond with this thing. And then once you have the bond, then this like beast respects you, and then you can like fly on it. Watch the movie. It's a really good point. The gist of it is that there's this trial, there's this kind of what's the word? Okay, I know what the word is. There's this rite of passage that you go through where it tests you. It kind of it makes you're training for this, and then there's a rite of passage to go through. And then after you complete this rite of passage, then Jake Sully was welcomed into the tribe. I think I haven't watched the movie in a long time. But that's something that I've so learned. There's not really, except for this one program that I went through with Melanie Ann Layer called Femme Fatale, which if you have the capacity to do that, amazing program. This whole program was this rite of passage into going from being a good girl into being a great woman. And there's certain things that what has worked as us as children, as girls, isn't going to fly anymore. Isn't going to fly. This need for, if someone wrongs us and us wanting punishment, not going to fly anymore. So we need to up level, kind of have this new version of forgiveness for us, leading from forgiveness, knowing that it's not right what a lot of people have done, but it is, you don't have to we can forgive. That's another conversation that I do want to have. There's that conversation. There's this conversation of understanding our traumas, understanding our wounds, understanding when there's an authorship wound where we don't like being told what to do, and we get triggered by that. And you're like, how dare you tell me what to do? I know that's something that I definitely struggle with. Or there's this comparison wound. There's this wound about kind of needing to be perfect. And the way that Melanie describes it is this motherhood wound and a sisterhood wound, which each are so different, but so triggering when you hear about them, and also so freeing when you say, okay, this is a new way that I can just be in a really powerful stance. There's conversations that we need to have about having standards and boundaries, that a lot of the times we put down boundaries saying it like, no, you do not treat me like this, but we have really, really weak standards. We don't show up for ourselves. Our word is not law for ourselves. So no wonder people call bullshit when we put a standard or a boundary down when we actually don't follow through on our word for ourselves. Or we don't treat us the best way, but we say other people need to treat us the best way. There's this conversation, this rite of passage that we need to understand. And one of them being this reclaiming this ownership of confidence, of we are the one. We have to know that it's true, that we are the one, that we are the confident one, that we're the sexy one, that anything that you say that you want right now to be confident, to be fit, to be sexy, to be abundant, to be well spoken, to be a leader, we don't need anymore to sit there as a good girl and say, am I doing it right? Can you give me an A? How did I do? We don't need validation anymore. In fact, the need for validation is actually keeping us stuck and actually keeping us from needing to be more, needing to do more, doing more, being more, doing more, being more, doing more, being more. And that's leading us so far into burning out, feeling like we're not enough, feeling like we are never capable of actually hitting the target. Because the fact is that the majority of the things that we want, it's a moving target anyways, because we're always changing, we're always evolving. But the truest, like what you need to know as a woman right now is that you're the one. You are the one. You are the one. And you have to know it to be absolutely true. Unwavering amount. That when you say, I want to be confident, I want to be sexy, I want to be abundant, I want to be graceful, it's not about what can I do to get there. I thought that was the thing. And I actually just wrote a post about this, and I want to read it to you because this has actually kind of been more of my like favorite ways of doing these podcasts now is really contemplating everything, writing a post about it, and then just kind of elaborating them a little bit more on the podcast. So I'm going to read the post to you, and then I'm going to explain it a little bit deeper. So I always felt a little afraid to claim the confident one, to own a bit of edge, to be unapologetic. I didn't want to be too loud, too seen, too much, because I wasn't what I thought the confident one looked and acted like. I didn't have the body, my hair frizzed up, my skin broke out, my eyebrows were always weird, my thighs rubbed and I sweated everywhere. I stuttered and I second-guessed my thoughts. So I covered me to become her. I covered up in clothing and makeup, in straightening and curling my hair, in waxing, shaving, plucking, in silence and in unthought communication. I covered me to become what I thought she was, and then did the work, quote unquote, to match me to her. I moved my body. I drank the water. I woke up early and did the morning routines in hopes that one day I would look in the mirror and see her staring back at me. And this quote unquote work, it's beautiful work. But we start with what we see as the end all be all work, and it's just not all of it. So learn from me and collapse some time here. When you feel a disconnect from yourself and her, all the steps that you think will get you to her, they're not inherently bad. They're actually amazing for you, but we are missing a critical piece in the puzzle. Allowing ourselves to claim her, own her, be her now, not when, now. That's the code. You have got to know that you are the one. You have got to know that you can do it. You have got to know the truth is that she is in you now. Claim her. Remind yourself of this truth every day, and she'll come to you. She'll come to you. So let's break this down a little bit. So I have always, I wanted to be confident. I wanted to be I wanted to be it all. I wanted to be the it girl. I wanted to be the one. I wanted to be the best version of myself. I want to be empowered. I want to be magnetic. I wanted to get the guys. I just wanted to see the women that I saw, and I was like, oh, she's confident. She's confident. She's sexy. She's amazing. She's rich. She's amazing. She is like abundant. She is flowing. She is all the things that we see. When we see somebody and we're like, "Oh, I want that," that's a good sign to know, okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so stick with that. We see somebody, we see some individuals or we see something that we're like, "I want that." But when you look at yourself, you're like, "But I'm not there yet." So for me, it really started again, it's so much of this work started with my own body and how I looked and felt about myself, my own confidence. And so exactly what I said here, I wanted to be confident. I wanted to walk into a room and just not feel like I was like, "Are people looking at me?" Or like, "Am I weird? How do I look? I don't know." I wanted to like just exude, ooze confidence. But the things that were I wasn't confident about myself were a big one was my body, was the way that I looked, was the roles that I had. I felt like I was always overweight, always. I remember actually had 2 memories, and this actually was just brought up recently through, this breathwork session, the quote unquote I love this phrase, it's the unsexy work of of claiming our power. There's a lot of unsexy work, the work that just doesn't feel, ugh. So I did this breathwork session, and it's a lot of healing, and holy moly, I was just, like, crying and just emotions were it was intense. But 2 memories came up about my own self-worth, and one of them was being in I remember, I must have been in 1st grade, and I remember being on the staircase, we were living at San Diego at the time. I remember sitting on the staircase with my mom, telling my mom, like, crying or just being really sad, "I am fat." 6 years old. I think I just misspoke and said 6th grade. 6 years old. It was, kindergarten or 1st grade, one or the other ones. A child saying, "I'm fat, I'm big." And I remember my mom's response was like, "You'll grow into your body," which left just kind of this impression of me of like, "Okay, I will become her. I will become her. I will become her." And again, I'm sure I'm not putting anything on my mom right now of being like, "Why didn't you just tell me I was perfect no matter what?" Like, I remember just hearing, "You'll grow into your body." And I'm sure too that was like, "You're beautiful, you're like, you are going to grow." It honestly could have been like, "You are gonna grow up and just love who you are." But I just heard, "You're gonna grow into your body." That's all I heard. And again, I wanna clarify, like, I'm a 1st grader. I could have taken the conversation way opposite. But the problem was that 1st grade or kindergarten, I had this questioning of my body is bigger than others. And then I remember being another memory that was jogged out was, just actually right now, I'm thinking of it. It was I was in 4th grade. What's beautiful is that I moved like every 2 years, so it's just like, okay, what school was I at? Okay, it's either 4th or 5th grade. What school am I at? It's either 1st or kindergarten. And I remember we had to go, we were just doing physicals, and I remember them taking my weight. And I think I was like 98 pounds because I'm a child. And I just remember at the time that the person said, "Oh, her weight is this," I remember there were the lines and 2 boys giggled. They giggled. And I was like, "Oh, they're making fun of me." Again, in hindsight, they could have just been talking about something else, but I internalized that their giggles, I took that as a self-projection that they were making fun of my weight. And then I remember also these are like ingrained memories about my own self-worth coming from being a child. I remember being on the trampoline in middle school and with my 2 best friends at the time. And one of the friends said, "Okay, like if we could make the perfect woman, if you took Katie's face this other girl's boobs and this other girl's butt. We'd be the perfect woman. So I remember always kind of growing up, and I liked my face. I liked my face. And I wonder if part of it is from that, from being this, I was validated that my face looked pretty. That if we created the perfect woman, Katie's face can be on that. And I took that validation. But internalized, there was just this, okay, no one has validated my body. No one's validated it in a way that I feel like it's true. And so for me, it was just kind of going, okay, look at what I wrote then. Of if I wanted to be confident, I had to be her. And the biggest insecurity that I had because of these just kind of like, and not even because, but just these pivotal memories that when I was doing this breathwork session, the unsexy work, these memories came up and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been holding on to these. And so if I wanted to be confident, but what I felt insecure about was my body. And then I also was insecure about how around my face, my hair frizzed up. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the one thing that they said was perfect was my face. I have to make sure my hair looks good. I have to make sure my eyebrows look good and the eyebrows need to be plucked well. I need to make sure my skin, oh my gosh, I am going through puberty and I am just like breaking out everywhere. Whoa, okay, I gotta get all this stuff under control. And then with that lack of again, I just felt like the girl that I saw in the mirror was not a reflection of who I thought this confident, sexy, magnetic version of me was supposed to look like. And with that came behavioral things as well too. I felt like I stuttered, I felt like I second guessed my thoughts and my opinions about things. And so then to become her, the work was covering, it was really rooted in changing my body. And that's what we do a lot of the times. We say, okay, I want to be this version of myself. I want to be happy. I want to be empowered. I want to be graceful. And we just say, okay, what do I need to do? Because that's a lot of it, it's our we've been raised in this masculine paradigm, this masculine energy of doing, of going. Like, tell me what to do. Like, I need to be able to do something to I can't just claim it. Because we haven't been taught that that's the way, that could be the way. We haven't been told this is the rite of passage. You can have anything you want. A woman, a strong woman, a great woman knows that she can claim anything and have it. Because all it takes is, it's not about what you do to get there. It's about knowing that in the truth, that's who you know you are. Truth is the strongest frequency out there. Truth is unquestionable. Truth is unapologetic because truth is just truth. It is the truth. There is no countering the truth. And so our work in becoming confident, feeling sexy, loving our body, loving ourselves, loving our lives, it's not about what we do to get there. And I'm not saying that these things that you do are wrong, because I listed off right here. So when I quote unquote was like, I'm going to be confident, I'm going to start loving myself. And I started to do the work, quote unquote work. And what this work looked like was it looked like exercising. It looked like figuring out, okay, how do I release this weight on my body? How do I feel fit in my body? It looked like getting a good night's sleep. It looked like drinking the water. It looked like creating a morning routine where this morning routine, I really focused on, okay, what do I need to do in the morning to feel energized, to feel good starting my day versus starting the day and just going onto somebody else's agenda or looking at my to-do list. So I was doing good, really, really good things, but I was just doing it out of the wrong order. I thought if I do X, Y, and Z, and I start seeing shifts in my body, seeing my skin clear up because I'm drinking water, seeing my hair look better because, again, drinking water, eating good foods that are fueling my body from the inside out. I was like, okay, once I start seeing these little shifts, then I'm going to be confident. And it 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 did to an extent. To an extent where I felt confident, but then I was like, but I'm not all the way there yet. And I would do more work, kind of fine tune my routine. So I felt more confident about myself, but I wasn't there yet. It's always this not there yet feeling, not there yet, not there yet, not there yet, like close. I love what I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing the right actions, but not there yet. That's where a lot of us are stuck. We're like, we're getting there, but not there yet. And then for some of us, we're like, okay, well, it's never going to happen. We fall off. Or we're just like, there's this ingrained feeling of just not worthy enough. And so I want this rite of passage that we're not told is the truth, is that your truth is the only thing that matters. What you know to be true about yourself without needing any other outside validation, that's it. What do you need to know to be true about yourself for your confidence to come through? You are the one. All you have to do is claim it. Claim it. And then, because this is a little bit newer of a concept, just remind yourself every single day, you are the one. You are confident. You can do it. And then that's where it's coming from there. We then can put into place of like, okay, what do you need to do to like remind yourself that you are the one, that you are confident, that you are sexy, that you can do this? What are things then coming from a place of I am the most confident version of myself. I am confident. I am sexy. I am edgy. I am the one. Claim it. Then just ask yourself, okay, what are the things today, right now, do I need to do to remind myself that that is the truth? Do I need to clean my bedroom and show myself like I can do this? Do I need to exercise and show myself I can be consistent in this? What do you need to do? Do you need to clean out your purse? Do you need to drink more water? Do you see where it's like I'm doing the exact same things, but instead of saying, okay, I need to exercise, I need to drink water, I need to sleep better, I need to have a morning routine, and then I'll be confident. It's like, no, I am confident, and to prove to me that that is the truth, confident Katie exercises and like loves on her body. Confident Katie follows through on her word. She drinks the water. She eats the foods like this. Sexy Katie, she treats her body like this. Do you see the difference? Do you feel the energetic difference of a girl sitting there being like, okay, if I just exercise and lose weight, like, am I confident yet? Tell me I'm confident. I think I'm confident. Oh, but I'm not there yet. Versus a great woman said, I'm confident. And this is how I know I'm confident. I do this. I act like this. These are my standards. These are my boundaries. This is how I talk. This is how I hold myself. And walking from there. When we claim that what we want and what we desire is our truth, is our right, then the action steps that follow become effortless. They really do. There's no more sitting there trying to convince yourself to do something because you're like, this is just who I am. It's just who I am. That's like, of course I do this. Of course I speak like this. Of course I act like this. Of course I do these things throughout my day because I'm the one. I'm the one that just does it. I am the one. It's my truth. It's my unwavering truth. It's my unapologetic truth. It's my empowered truth. It's you can't make me question myself because I know this truth to be truth. I know myself so much, I am the one. That's our work. That's our work, is to know that you are the one, because there is nothing anybody could ever say to you that's gonna make you believe your own truth more than you actually knowing it to be true. I know that's a wordy sentence, but there is nothing that I could ever tell you. There is nothing that I could ever tell you. There's nothing that your grandma could ever tell you. There's nothing that your sister could ever tell you. There's nothing that any of your personal development people could tell you that is gonna be stronger than the truth that you know about yourself. We can have things in our life that spark remembrance. That's all personal development is. That's all my work is. I'm not sitting the work that I do, the work that other amazing women and men and people do in this space, what we do is not tell you, we're not the authority of just being like, "Follow me and I will give you confidence and sexiness and abundance and magnetism and grace and all the things that you ever want. I hold the key and I hold the magic potion. Just drink this potion and you'll get it." It's not me that's giving it to you. All I can do is hold my truth to be so powerful, hold my light out there, and then when you see it, for you to say like, "I remember." That's it. When you see another woman and you are seeing her and saying, "She's so confident," there's I wanna word this really specifically. It's we can't feel what confidence looks like. We can't if I see a woman walk by, if I see Beyoncé walk by, and I am enamored by her magnetism, that means because I can feel what her magnetism is, I can feel it, I can sense it, that means that it's in me. Because we can't experience anything that we haven't experienced before for ourselves first. Does that make sense? We see someone and if we see them and be like, "They're confident." How do we know that they're confident? It's because we know the experience of what confidence feels like for us. We've had these little nuggets of moments of it. So that means it's already inside of us. How do we know what sexy is like? Because we felt it inside our body. We can't notice a personality trait without us actually experiencing it in our body. Because they're like, I don't even know if there's an example of something that like only men have or only, I don't know. But that's the key, is that it's all inside of us and all we have to do is claim it and know that it's our truth. Because truth, again, I'm going to say truth is the strongest frequency out there. Truth is what we all want, right? When we ask the question of who am I, we just want to know, okay, this is it. This is the truth. This is who you are. And I talked about this in last week's episode. It's that like I don't think we're going to know who I am, the truth of it, until it's absolutely we're done. We're not here anymore. We've moved on. We've breathed our last breath. So if you're needing validation of who you are, it's not in looking outside for someone to tell you. Because to be honest, your entire puzzle piece, your whole puzzle will not be solidified for somebody else to be able to see it and say like, this is who you are, until after you've passed, and then it's going to be too late. So what we can do is we get to claim it. We get to claim it. And it's like truth is, without a shadow of a doubt, unapologetically, this is who I am. Find your truth. And all you have to do is say, this is who I am, and I'm going to prove it. And that's where the action comes from. That's when the steps come from. That's when what do I need to do? Those questions, when you say, I want to feel fit, I want to feel confident in my body. What do I need to do? How do I lose weight? Because I feel like if I lose weight, then I'll be confident. So, no, I am confident. And then the confident version of Katie, this is what she does. This is what she does. This is how she treats her body. This is how she treats her friends. This is how she talks to her partner. This is what she does. Claim her, remember her, and then she will effortlessly come to you. She will come to you because she's already inside of you. That's the rite of passage we've yet to really ingrain and remember every single day. Truth is the strongest frequency out there. You have got to know that you are the one. That has got to be your truth. And then you walk from there. Because again, nobody can tell you it. Nobody can validate you. They can remind you. It feels good to be validated. It feels good. I've had instances where my grandma's just like, my grandma says, Katie, I'm so proud of the woman that you are becoming. I'm so proud of it. It feels good for her to see me and for her to acknowledge that. But the truth is that we don't need that. It feels great to have it. But our power as being a great woman is knowing that I'm becoming the best. I'm proud of myself. And then when someone does say, I'm proud of you, you don't sit there and go, wait, really? You're proud of me? Wait, why? Can you just tell me all the reasons why you're proud of me? Instead of that, we get to sit there and say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for seeing that. Thank you for saying that. I know. I'm proud of me too. What would our lives look like if that was that was the truth? I know. Thank you. Versus, really? Oh, can you just repeat that for me? That's so nice to hear. I don't hear that ever because my brain never thinks that. My brain is always the opposite. My brain is always looking for how I need to be better, do more, be more, because I'm not enough. That's why it feels so good when someone says, you are amazing. It's that validation. But we don't need that anymore. We're not little girls learning the world anymore that need to be told, you're doing a good job. This is the right way because we have no idea how to do it. Sometimes we just need to go through a rite of passage. Sometimes we just need to learn this is the way that great women do things. And then go from there. So what is your truth? You are the one. You're the one. Claim it. Be it. Do it. Own it now. Not when, not in the future, not when this happens. Now. Own it. Remind yourself of this claim, of this remembrance of who you are. You are the one. Claim it, own it, remind yourself every single day and walk and see what happens. I promise you, this has shifted everything for me. Knowing that I am the one and nobody else can tell me in a way that's going to be stronger in the long term than what I know to be the truth has shifted everything for me. So I love you. If this is helpful for you to hear, let me know, send me a DM, or just share this with your girlfriends, your grandma, your mom, your sister, anybody who needs to hear this, because this is a rite of passage that there's so much stuff that we haven't fully claimed. And I want us to all claim it. I want us to be great women out there, and I think we'll change the world. So I hope something this week takes your breath away. I love you. Mwah. Hey there. Thank you so much for listening. My goal is to help as many women listening, and if this episode supported you in any way, the very best way to show your appreciation is by simply screenshotting this episode and sharing on your social media or with your friends. Or even better, drop a review on whatever platform you are listening on. Don't forget, if you are looking for any additional support, you can always reach me on Instagram at Katie Christ. See you back here next week.